we're back with another episode of comics. This is grand episode 20. So, without any further ado, this is Esteban.
This is Carmen.
This is Ash.
This is Luis.
I'm Andres.
And again, episode 20. Did you guys really think we'd last 20 episodes?
Fuck no.
I mean,
Is it because you thought you'd quit again, or?
And it didn't come from me.
I mean, that's it was a distinct possibility, yes.
But Andreas, like a Zeppelin, like you could read the words, like it was right around my head, and then I didn't want to say it, and then you just went, "Spike, bitch."
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on to drink of the week. Luis, what do you got, man?
I am drinking the finest of wines, a $9 chromatic Pinot Noir. Look at that.
Chromatic, eh?
Yeah. And it is a lovely wine, a lovely Pinot Noir from my girlfriend's shelf. And I just recently started turning on over to wine. So for the longest time, I really didn't care for it.
Nice.
And now it's become a very much enjoyed drink with my evening TV watchings.
Ah, very
Rope
cool.
and pipe and slippers.
Welcome to the wine club.
I do have slippers, actually. I got the Burt Kreischer slippers, the something waters.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Just over the head. Over the head. So
Burt
this
Kreischer,
week's-
comedian. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, so this week's been an interesting week because we had more fans reach out to us. So we had quite a few fans reach out to us on Instagram as well as on our YouTube page. So I know Luis mans the YouTube page. So who do we got comments from this week, Luis?
So we're starting with Ultra Turtles, which is one of the co-creators of Comics Alliance, the Instagram page that gives you weekly polls, gives you recommendations on what to read, and gives you their ratings on the different comics that they pull. So Ultra Turtles, he comments, "Love your podcasts. I love that your podcasts are over an hour long. Every time for me, it's enough time for me to go to work and come back from work feeling like I'm hanging out with a group of friends. Keep up all the good content."
Very
Which
cool,
is
man.
exactly, that was I think the conversation that we had in bringing it back was exactly that, right? Just like, it's just a bunch of friends talking shit. We're getting high in a basement, right, Andres?
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know if you guys listened to episode 19. If you haven't listened to episode 19, turn this off and go to episode 19. I laughed so hard. Ash, no, it might have been 18. Ash was the moderator, and we were into a conversation of Star Wars, and he's like, wait, Andres hasn't spoken. Andres, what do you think? He's like, I'm excited. Like, but it was just so monotone. Fucking Christ. The comedic timing of that was great, and I laughed really hard.
Very
Thank you for that.
I thought that
C3PO-ish.
story was so much better the way you said it.
Thank you, buddy.
Esteban,
I hate you so much. All right, so we appreciate you, Ultra Turtles. Again, Comics Alliance is really good.
Also, thank you for your shout out on your TikTok or your YouTube. I couldn't tell what it was filmed on, but thank you.
Yeah, it was on their YouTube. Yeah, no, it was feeling a lot of love. But they really are good with talking about different recommendations. Actually, this one just came in today, and this one is, as you can see, it's supposed to say hotel, but the O and the T have been the lights have been taken off, and it just says hell. They add an
That
extra
reminds
L.
me of Catwoman Hell Here.
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm.
Really great fucking book. It's super creepy. It has I talked about it last time. It feels a lot like first season 1 and 2 of American Horror Story. So they're little one shots. If it turns into a show, fucking A, that'd be great. But it's just it's a very beautifully done horror comic that would have been under my radar had it not been for Comics Alliance. So thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate the love.
Who's the publisher?
Publisher on this guy is AWA Upshoot.
AWA Upshoot?
Upshot. Sorry.
Upshot.
AWA Upshot.
Right on.
So yeah, it's an indie comic. and they rated it. So there's three. As I understand it, there's three moderators in Comics Alliance.
Mhm.
One of and three of them had to choose like what their top 20 or what their top comics for 2020 was, and one of the moderators chose this as their favorite indie comic. And
Very cool.
I mentioned to you guys about Comixology. Issue 1 was available under the subscription, so I read the first issue, fucking fell in love with it instantly, and now I got the graphic novel, so making
Nice.
more room in my bookshelf.
Very cool.
Hey, when Dana gets rid of all your comics, can you let me know so that I know where to get them?
Yes, I will let you know. I'm getting really nervous that day's getting closer. The other day, we had to take my little fur baby to the vet, and so we have like a
Not
little
call a
storage
step
closet.
on that.
I know, my little fuzzy bear. And so the kennel is in our little storage closet, and I have an electric drum set.
I
play
don't
the
sleep in
drums
a
for
kennel. I sleep on a bed.
fun. I sleep on a bed. God damn it! And my electronic drum set is next to that closet, and I haven't really messed around with it in a while. And so she started like, "Why do you even have that? We should get rid of it." And so I'm trying to, like, now my things are like, at first when we moved in together, it was like, oh yay, like we're moved in together. And then now it's like, why is this bass here? Why is this drum set here? What are these comics? Like, it's like, God damn it. Like, so I'm gonna have to really choose what's gonna
I think
stay.
just a tip, you're digging yourself a deeper hole, friend. Stop talking.
Nah, she loves me.
Storage unit. Storage unit.
Yeah, if he gets a storage unit, he's gonna have to cancel his Comixology subscription.
And I cannot do that because it is fucking wonderful.
You're gonna end up living out of that fucking storage unit.
No, you guys want to come over? I have comics.
Are you in a white van?
I have to shower from out of this bucket, but hey,
I'll let you read my comics if you can bring some food. Yeah, come on, man.
Oh God,
Who's bringing us
a public storage on?
Yeah, no shit. All right, moving on to the next comment we have from on that same episode, which was episode 19, by the way. Heavyweight, great episode.
Yes.
Is it possible when referring to a character, for example, the Purple Mask, to show a picture of who that is or what you're referencing? I know I'm jumping the gun on WandaVision, but in the last episode, when they referenced the engineer, do we think that's Magneto? Hashtag Team Terrence Howard. So,
another Terrence Howard.
Hell yeah.
All right, so that's like a three-parter. So part one is it possible to show a picture of what it is that we're talking about when we start talking about it instead of saying check out our Instagram? The answer is yes. We were actually discussing that.
We've been working on that since episode 1.
And by working on that, we mean Ash brought it up. No. When I say work on it, Ash brought it up, and me and Esteban said, "Yeah, I think we can do that." And then it just never went anywhere.
Yeah, but it's one of those where Ash goes, "Hey, we should do this," and then never
Then I do
brings it up
nothing?
again.
No, it's one of those where Ash has an idea and expects everybody else to implement it,
Dude,
and he just has the idea.
Down. How did I get turned down in this?
He's been the most quiet this episode, and he still gets shit on.
You know what's funny though? What's funny is that he goes, "That's not me. I don't do that." But there's 4 others that say yes.
There's 2 girls and I'm the cup.
That's disgusting.
Okay.
Great movie.
Too
Very,
soon?
very moving piece.
Did you stay for the end credits?
The after credit scene was legit. Now that you brought it up, two girls, one cup. The soundtrack was very interesting choice.
Why are you talking about that goddamn? Stop it!
It was a very interesting choice. No, the soundtrack.
The best part is the regurgitation.
That didn't bother me. I think it was the poop that went into the cup that looked like ice cream.
Hey,
That's what
nobody was being graphic here, sir.
How dare you?
Okay. Oh man, now I know what Ash feels like.
I didn't
okay, I'm the asshole.
Up the shit that they ate.
Yeah, that's
who's addicted to the soundtrack? Hey, baby, get this on Spotify. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying it didn't fit. I would have preferred some like
Yeah,
Slayer or
yeah.
something. I don't
What
know.
kind of music do you like when girls are shitting on each other? What's your
That's
preference?
that's a turn that we don't want to go down. So, Luis, what else do we have as far as comments go?
Well, let's jump to the second part where he says Heavyweight mentioned that he feels he's jumping the gun on WandaVision, but in the last episode they referenced the engineer. Do we think that's Magneto?
No.
Thoughts?
But we could.
I'm gonna say
'cause
no.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it at the end.
Well, we can answer
but
this
We
question.
can answer the one question. The one question's fine, but my vote is no.
No.
There's a lot of theories that it's
There
somebody.
are.
else.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of theories that we're gonna get into later on in the episode, but I personally don't think that it's Magneto. So I mean, I guess we'll see.
Andres?
That was
Magneto even an engineer?
ever since.
Do you want to interrupt Andres again? Go ahead.
Ever since we were like talking about who might like come up, like that was my like perfect way to get mutants back into it.
Fuck yeah.
Was having Magneto show up. So that would be awesome, but I don't necessarily think that's who was being referenced.
Would be awesome. But so we're all hopeful. Heavyweight. Do we think it's actually going to happen? We're not. Probably not. We're not putting too many. Let's put it this way. We're not going to bet a hot sauce challenge on whether or not it would be Magneto.
Do you think it would be Fassbender or?
Yes.
Fassbender.
Yeah, right. It totally would be.
Yeah.
God, that would be.
Also,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Especially if you're going to go forward with mutants in the series, it wouldn't make sense to have an older Magneto.
And also, let's not forget the most important part of his comment, hashtag Team Terrence Howard. Nope. So just wanted to mention that. And Heavyweight, you're never wrong. We appreciate you. Thank you for all the love, buddy. Keep commenting. And actually, we're gonna have to connect with you, man. We want to hear your thoughts.
His favorite superhero was Superman.
Network TV shows, while fucking Don Cheadle is a big screen star. Yeah, that Terrence Howard.
God, so bitter. All right, so we got Valerie Zuniga, and she commented on the same episode. Great show, guys. I'm finally caught up! ! Definitely Team Terrence Howard. What did you guys think of the Falcon Winter Soldier trailer? Second question. What would you recommend to get my boys started on for comics? So that one's a little deep. So let's talk about the Winter Soldier and Falcon trailer. What did we think, everyone?
First, what she meant by caught up was she started like episode 18, loved it, and then went back and started from 1 and binged us all the way.
I feel bad for people that do that because our early episodes weren't good. Like they were not structured. Like it was just all over the place.
For yourself, man.
Okay, so if we ever make it, Luis does not do PR, right? We all agree.
Yes, we agree.
It'll be like Ben Affleck
together. Honestly, don't listen to them. They're not really that good. I'm glad she liked them. Okay, so she finished.
Yeah, she did.
I'm sorry, Valerie. All right, guys. What did we think of the Falcon Winter Soldier trailer? Carmen, we haven't heard from you yet. What do you think?
Yeah, Carmen.
Carms.
First of all, let me say thank you for agreeing with Terrence Howard was the best roadie. Anyways, moving on to the two haters staring at me with very hateful eyes over there.
Not even looking on the floor. Lame ass comment.
Wow. Okay.
I was just
bitter.
Speaking of hills we want to die on.
Exactly.
But about Winter Soldier and Falcon, I love the chemistry that they showed between Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love that kind of like back and forth, whatever. But I was going to comment on the fact that it kind of reminded me of the Terrence Howard and Robert Downey Jr. kind of similar in the way that it was structured. But I like the Easter eggs that they dropped as far as like the city that they showed. Do you guys remember? It's oh god.
It almost looked like the
I
Pikachu city because of the purple
I
lights and the New York kind of thing. No? Oh, shut up.
Yeah, no, yeah, I got it. But I thought that I had seen it somewhere else in reference to Fox in one of their movies,
Are you
and
talking about
I wrote
Sokovia?
it. No, not Sokovia. No, um, I wrote it down. I have a note. I'll pull it up right now. But I'm excited for that. It seems like they're focusing mostly on the fact I like the scene of oh my god, Falcon, what's his name?
Sam Wilson,
Oh,
Sam Wilson.
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. When Captain America's on the background and he looks down and it's kind of like he's having trouble accepting that he's gonna take the mantle over, and then like they're kind of going with the shield. I just like all of it. Yeah. Let me look for the other things. Somebody please go ahead.
Okay.
The note I wrote.
Ash, what did you think?
I like what I said in our comics chat was that whoever came up with like putting music to trailers was a fucking genius, because like it made me even more hyped for it. But what I did like once we were talking, side note, I feel like Iron Man and I'm getting somewhere with this. Iron Man and Rhodey were the same guy, but this guy went this way and this guy went this way. So that's why we're not going to a club and then they end up in a club. You know what I mean? Like they're almost the same guy personality wise. So I think that's why I like Terrence Howard. So what I will get into is they were both, I don't want to use the word sidekicks, but in a way best friends to Captain America.
Right.
So it's almost like I almost even got the vibe of the way Ryan Reynolds and TJ Miller talk to each other. Like they just top each other.
The
You know?
banter, yeah.
Yeah. And that's when you have two similar characters, which is cool because if you go by the movies, we really didn't even see the back and forth at all.
Right.
I like that it's almost like a brotherhood. Like you and I are going to have our shit, but I'll always have your back. You know what I mean? Like we're, you know, the staring eye contest, you got your ass whipped by a girl, like just little shit like that. Like, but I'll always have your back. I don't know. It's gonna be awesome, and I hope it has a great storyline because I already like the chemistry. I'll go next. Andres.
I was really into it. I like the back and forth between the characters. Yeah, it's that they have so much different stuff, and the thing they have in common is Captain America, and he's no longer there. Like they had the little scene where they were talking about fuck, I can't think of her name. Sharon Carter's niece.
Yeah.
And and the three of them had that like bonding moment in the car when they're driving. So that was cool. Now they have that the same bond is no longer there, and they're both forced either to take up the mantle or maybe be that side kick again, as they both because they both were Captain's sidekick basically. Not that it's a bad thing, and I think the one part that I really did enjoy was the one that Carmen said was where you could see Captain America's poster in the background, and they're kind of standing in his shadow, and they had to see how they break out of it. One really good thing I like is how they're throwing the shield around to each other to use it when they're in that battle scene. That was super awesome. So I'm really pumped, looking forward to it.
You know, imagery wise, I know I'm cutting you off, so I'm sorry. Imagery wise, we've all seen the comic book cover where Winter Soldier is holding the shield,
Right.
And then we've all seen comic books where Sam Wilson. So it's almost like it gives like both images, like if they both take on the mantle or at different times, or it's like when Tim Drake took up the mantle, then fucking Damien or whoever. It's like they all. I want to use the word. They all have validity.
Yes.
Okay, so it was kind of cool. It just gives life to those covers because it could happen at different times.
Very cool.
Sorry, go on.
Luis?
I can't really say anything that hasn't already been said. I mean, it looks good. I wasn't holding my breath for the show to begin with, and so seeing the trailer, I'm like, holy shit, this looks really fucking good. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do. I think they did a good job of not overhyping it like to begin with. So you don't really know, the show's coming, but you don't really know what it's about or whatever. So getting this trailer, it's lighthearted, but then it also shows its action. So kind of, yeah, the same Marvel formula, which I've come to respect, and these two characters that don't get along, to get them, it'd be kind of like buddy copy type of show, but like at the end they do it for the greater good. Like, I'm a sucker for that kind of shit. It's like a typical 90s formula, and I love it.
Yeah, it's true. Carmen, did you find that note?
Well, I have the image I was talking about, and can you see it? I don't even know where my camera is at. It's just a city, and it's supposed to be like reminiscent of Madripoor, which is an X-Men location.
Oh.
So I was excited to see that kind of there, and the fact that it may be a reference to the X-Men, but we'll see. Just that. Cool. That's what I wrote.
If anything, too, if it does, it could be like an Easter egg for a future city for the X-Men or a storyline.
It can, yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah, when I saw the trailer, I thought it was pretty cool. I think the scene that Carmen and Andres are referencing, where they got Captain America's shadow in the background, or his poster in the background, I kind of want to say that's his funeral. Because you see Winter Soldier wearing a suit, or not Winter Soldier, I'm sorry, you see Sam Wilson wearing a suit, and if it's the same scene, you see Bucky in the background, kind of in the shadows, so that's what it kind of seems like. It kind of seems like it's Steve Rogers' funeral, which could very well be the case. And I mean, yeah, they have that type of relationship where it's the back and forth banter, where they don't like each other, but like all of us have said, that they know Cap very well, so they're doing it for the greater good. But I mean, it could be pretty much anything. I don't think that the bitterness between the two has anything to do with them, whoever's going to be taking up the mantle, because it was pretty much explained that Sam Wilson's going to be the one doing it because he gave the shield to him. It could be something, if in fact it is Steve Rogers' funeral, I can see it being that that it could be that Sam spoke at his funeral and Bucky didn't. It could be something as small as that, but
Winter Soldier could be involved just because of Baron Zemo.
That's true. It could be, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't. It's supposed to hit Disney Plus. I think I saw March 19th, and it's supposed to be 6 episodes, and each episode's supposed to be about an hour long. So.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's cool. It's supposed to be about an hour long, and from what I was reading, it's like movie level action. So.
It looks like it.
Yeah. So.
Dig it.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Dig it. So very good question. Thank you for that, Valerie Zuniga.
She had a second part.
She did have a second part. I was about to jump into that.
Sorry.
So the second piece. No, you're good. And actually, I want to shoot it to you first because I messaged it to the group and you had some good suggestions. So the second piece of it is, what would you recommend my boys to get started on for comic books? Ages 9 and 11, but they've watched Deadpool, so I guess age appropriate doesn't matter. Haha. So I'll let you take a first stab at it. There's a lot of content here. Let me rephrase this. There's a lot of content that I know we can all recommend. Limit it to 1 or 2, Andres, and then I'm curious to hear the rest of the room.
Okay, so I will start. I'll go.
And
I guess
why?
I'll jump into like Teen Titans first because you have a bunch of, you could jump into graphic novels buys, which is what I would always suggest somebody do, especially if you're going to start off a kid to get into it, and that way you have a whole arc of a story from the beginning to the end, and you have a lot of options in that case. And then you also have the animated series, which is pretty good and ongoing, to get them into it, to get them hooked. And then another one is from Scholastics. They have a series called Amulet that's pretty good. That's for young, I won't say young kids, but yeah, like early teenagers to get in. It's a female character that leads a story, but it's pretty good. I've checked out the first graphic novel, so I would suggest that.
Take it. Esteban, what do you got?
There's about 4 titles that I would probably recommend. But if I'm gonna be sticking to 2,
You can be
the first
sticky.
one I don't want to. I would recommend Super Sons. I'd recommend that one. Yeah, I'd recommend Super Sons. It just shows, the back and forth banter with Superman's son and Batman's son. So I think that would be a pretty good title to kind of jump onto. The other one that I would probably recommend, since there's no, age restriction to it, I'd probably say Superior Spider-Man would be another one. So it'd be those 2 that I would recommend.
Superior. That's the one where Doc Ock takes
Yes.
over his body, right?
Yeah. So those are the 2 that I would recommend. So yeah, I think they'd be pretty good. But I highly recommend Super Sons. That would probably be the jumping on point. Would be Super Sons.
I dig that.
So.
I dig that. What about you, Carmen? What do you got as a recommendation for early young readers?
I agree with Andres about Amulet because I bought it for my friends' kids, like sponsored their reading or whatever, and she loved it. So I know she's really into it, and they're releasing more volumes of it.
Ooh.
So it's I would suggest that. And then there's another one that I bought for her that is called Bone. It's like about ghosts, kind of like a fantasy thriller book, and it's pretty awesome. I actually read that with her when I go over, when I used to, COVID and stuff. But
good recovery.
It's very reminiscent of like comic strips, kind of like the Donald Duck and Bugs Bunny era. And it's mostly about just like trials of life, and like it's good for teaching lessons, like lessons that you don't know how to kind of address, like death or like feeling sad and dealing with kind of those emotions. It's a pretty good book.
Heck yeah. Ash, what do you got?
I did stop collecting, but I noticed that a lot of movies are being based on things that we kind of grew up with, just so that we have a reference. I will go Nightfall, and I will go Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage, huh?
Yeah. But those are series that, there's not a lot of series that like make me go from Batman to Robin to Detective Comics to, Nightwing Part 9 or 9, excuse me, issue 9. Like that one I really had to follow. And then same thing with Maximum Carnage. Like for me the story was so good that I had to follow, I would get comic books I don't collect just to follow the story. Even though it was from like blah blah blah's perspective, I still want to know what's up.
Right.
What happens?
Yeah.
Makes sense. And for my pick, it's actually very similar. I've never read Amulet though. You've piqued my interest.
When you're little kids, you're like into it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yes, Andres and Carmen both vouch for it. So
Cool.
I respect both of your opinions. But very similar to Super Sons or Teen Titans, I chose Ultimate Spider-Man, which is this one right here. So this is what an absolute version is. And so you see it's a little bit bigger than a normal graphic novel. And so this is like maybe 2 or 3 graphic novels into one book. I would recommend doing this. It's been out for a while, so you can find them on Amazon used for significantly cheaper than what the normal retail is. And I would just recommend getting volume 1 and then checking it out that way. The reason I'm
more than one of
recommending, I'm sorry.
There's more than one of those Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, so Ultimate Spider-Man is the Bendis run, and so this is the run. Ultimate Spider-Man is the one that ended with the big story of Miles Morales, and so it's that same writer, but he started it off with this. And the reason I recommend it with this is he did a lot of crossover work. So as you can see on the cover of this one, that's Storm from X-Men. And so he himself is a teenager, so it's like a big coming of age thing. So there's no cursing, nothing. Marvel's usually pretty good with that sort of stuff, but they're also very relatable stories to really any walks of life. And also having to work with all these different superheroes. So if it's someone that's getting introduced to this world, it's a fun thing to be like, oh, wow, I want to learn more about the X-Men, to maybe branch into that. Or I want to learn more about, I don't know, the Inhumans, and then go into that. But it just kind of it's a nice introduction to a lot of different stories.
Question.
Fire.
Nightfall's the one with Bane, right?
That's the one Bane takes over the city. Okay. Yeah.
No. What's the one that's leading up to the planting of the bat?
That's Nightfall.
Okay.
Yeah. Nightfall. Yeah.
After that,
same one.
Another series. After
Nightfall, yeah, No Man's Land.
No Man's Land. Okay. Sorry, Nightfall is still my good.
Yeah, Nightfall's good shit.
You'd like a good Batman story to jump into, just for graphic novel wise, quick and easy would be a Court of Owls. It's pretty good.
Yes, I have that.
Court of Owls is good.
I'm not real happy with Batman Corp or whatever it's being called.
Incorporated?
Batman Incorporated. Yeah, I'm not real. Sounds, I don't know. Maybe because I work for a bank, but I'm not real down with it.
Yeah, Batman Incorporated was a little. It was different. I liked it. I enjoy a lot of Grant Morrison's work, and he created Damian, and Damian's my favorite Robin. It's pretty great.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, but just like Batman and Son, I loved it. Batman R.I.P. So all of those runs, and even the Batman and Robin run that he did, where Dick Grayson is Batman, I thought was phenomenal. That was my introduction to comic books. So it's like I always liked them. I said I liked comic books, but I only watched cartoons and shit. And then that was my first line that I read, and then I just fucking fell in love.
Really? So, like my, sorry, we're gonna get into a tangent a little bit.
Please, bring it.
My favorite, and like it's a standalone, so you could go check it out. It's nice and long, and like I would always praise the series. Like nice artwork, story wise, is a Long Halloween. You have to
go. Very Long good. Halloween.
Loeb and Sale. They
love that one.
An extraordinary. Like even just the one single page is like looking through the artwork, and you could see. And like, yeah, I'm a big Superman honk, and I would always choose Superman over Batman. But that story is just perfect, and you like. It's hard not to fall in love with it. Mainly because it sticks with like the detective stuff, and it does have like everything the Superman, Batman is. So
I thought it was a beautiful passing of the torch too. The Long Halloween was like, okay, a lot of his villains in the early days when Batman came out were mafia people, because mafia was big then, and it's like it's turning into these. Yeah, exactly. It's turning into all these different super villains. And they were calling it was a Long Halloween because they're all wearing masks and all this shit. And it was very symbolic. And I thought it was beautifully done, of just like how the tide is turning. And Batman Begins loosely did their story off of that. So, which I thought
Comixology has all these things, right? You think?
Yes, sir.
Very cool.
Also, hashtag Comixology, use promo code comic. No, I'm just kidding. We're not.
I wish, dude. I wish. That would have been awesome.
But please sponsor us, Comixology. We give you twos and twos of subscribers. Okay, so
they're like, we don't need your subscribers.
Not doing PR,
we get 1, 2. You got 5 subscribers after this. All right, so the next comment is from Zach. Great episode, guys. Ash is a little dry when he's not drunk. What's up, man? No pun intended. The content was on point though. So I think he's trying to say that episode 19 you weren't tipsy enough. So he's saying to bring it up a little bit.
I just
So that's part one. His
I
second
talked
part.
about knowing your shit. Your shit is your shit. Like, and that you guys, that was like for 15 fucking, if not longer.
Hey, we got a lot of
Man.
comments off of that. I mean, granted, we've gotten a lot of comments very recently for very different reasons, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about you being drunk, and we're going to talk about that.
I'll do my best.
You
Thank
do
you.
your best. Just
And then he responds. So his second piece to that says, Luis, I caught the YMH reference at the top of the show. Don't be stingy, Mark. And I did make a comment of, you better believe I'm coming up in May. And then everyone got weird. They're like, Luis is like a weirdo. And it was because I was quoting something from Your Mom's House. I think Andres probably knows that.
Beat on me.
Yeah. Beat on me. Piss on me.
That's when you should be making marks, Esteban, for when you make your everything.
The voice drops. Piss on me, baby. I'm here now. All right. So then, so Zach comments after that. It says the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic sounds amazing. I'm very interested. Also, Don Cheadle is my guy. So you guys have one. One.
You guys have one.
I have a one. I have a one.
I didn't think I had an accent, but that's cool.
Such a dick.
And that is the end of our comments. So again, thank you guys. We appreciate you all.
Thank you so much.
Except for
Luis.
you. I'm just kidding.
Real quick.
No, just whoever's
you
no,
guys-
you though. You.
If you guys haven't gotten it, we're gonna make the comments part of the show, which is gonna be the beginning of the show, and that's what the more comments, the better. And sorry, back to you.
Buddy, I'm sorry to do this to you, man. I know it's hot. Can you please turn off your fan? We can hear the wind, and we can't hear you.
Okay.
There's no fan. It's his mic. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is we're gonna go ahead and put.
This technology sucks. So moving.
What we're gonna do is, if you guys would like to donate to Ash for a new microphone, you guys can go ahead and Venmo him.
Sponsor.
He needs a new microphone badly. For just $5. Yeah, so if you guys
that sounds better actually.
We can go ahead and get that going. If you guys want to Venmo him, whatever you guys can.
It's so funny that we're actually trying to get sponsorship, and now we're starting a Kickstarter for me to get a fucking mic.
Better one.
I don't know what you did. It sounds a lot. You sound perfect, crystal clear.
It sounds
sir.
better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fuck, I should have mentioned it earlier. I was just like, it's probably hot in there. All right. Anyway, that's the end of the comments. Back to you, sir.
Thank you again. Like, I can't thank everybody enough for commenting. So if you guys can subscribe, if you guys haven't already, leave us a like. I know recently, I think Instagram ended up changing up the algorithm. So if you guys end up doing us a favor, and if you guys go ahead and add to your collection, that actually is a lot more than just likes and comments and stuff like that. So if you guys can hit that little flag on the corner of the post to save the post to your guys' collection on Instagram, that actually helps us out a lot and boosts us up. Wow. Boop. Boop. Too much.
It boops us.
Too much. Just too much already. So if you guys can go ahead and do that, I would greatly appreciate it. And you know what? If you guys can recommend us to a friend, we'd greatly appreciate that as well. YouTube, like the videos on YouTube, that helps us out a lot too. So what we're gonna go ahead and jump into now, again, is your guys' favorite topic, is the Snyder Cut. Yet again, I know, everyone's rolling their eyes. So on February 14th, Zack Snyder has claimed that he's going to go ahead and drop a new trailer for the Snyder Cut. There was an image that was released with the Man of Steel in his epic black suit, and I will say that photo looked pretty good. So I'm thinking that his trailer that's going to be coming out on the 14th on Valentine's Day is probably going to be another black and white trailer. May have Hallelujah to it as the
Oh God.
as the music for it. But not only that, there is also speculation that there is two massive differences between Josh Whedon and Zack Snyder's movie. So apparently, Snyder's movie will contain 3.5 hours of more footage. Apparently, the Justice League that we saw, we actually only saw 30 minutes of what Zack Snyder actually shot. So I don't know about this because they're saying now it's Warner Brothers gave Zack Snyder $70 million to finish the movie because they're trying to push that this is a completely separate movie from what we saw in theaters. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're even saying that this is a alternate universe as well.
That's news to me. I didn't hear that.
Not 100% sure. But again, we've said it on here time and time again. I mean, does this change your guys' opinion about Justice League, hearing that there is a possibility that there is 3.5 hours of additional footage that no one has ever seen?
Fuck no.
Thank you, Luis. Carmen, does that change your opinion on the Snyder Cut?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, no. I think, like I said last time that we talked about this, it's just like so overplayed and overhyped now. And don't get me wrong, the Henry Cavill image in the black suit, dope, super cool.
Right.
I'll even give credit to Jared Leto, that image that we saw of him on the Joker and the long hair, and it's like the black and white. Okay, I get it. You're pumping me up, but I don't know. Like, it's been so long that I'm like, you're playing me up, telling me that there's going to be like 3.5 hours of new content that we didn't get to see from Joss Whedon because that was a different movie or a whole different thing. But then if it's not delivered to be that, then I'm just going to be just as disappointed. You know what I mean? So I just don't want to have any hype, or like I don't want to expect anything because I don't want to be let down.
Right. Okay.
I feel like if I'm already like at a neutral ground, it can just only get better, hopefully.
So your bar is set extremely low for this Snyder Cut.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
I think that's the best way to play it, really, right? I mean, if your bar is set low, like we all saw the last Justice League, right? And so nobody was blown away by it. I mean, you can make arguments that Batman vs Superman had beautiful cinematography, which I always said that it did. The storytelling, left some to be desired, but the cinematography was beautiful. So I know the man can make beautiful shots. So certain shots can look great. So I just want to see some cool shit that maybe I haven't seen before. But just to piggyback a tiny bit on what you said earlier, Esteban, you are absolutely correct. The Snyder Cut is stated, scratch that. The Snyder Cut version is intended to not affect the future of the DCEU continuity, but takes place in a slightly alternate universe. Despite previous reports of it being a miniseries, Snyder has described this to be looked at as a comic book one-shot. So there you have it.
Oh, okay. So that
Esteban,
actually...
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did Luis just say continuity?
No, he said continuity.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Could have been both.
You're welcome. I mean, it could be both. I mean, he's hitting them with the hard T, but that's cool.
But yeah, no, you were right. So he's doing this as like a one-shot comic book thing. It's like this is like a what if scenario.
Okay, perfect. No, and that's probably the best way to describe this to anyone that doesn't follow comics or follow comic books. Kind of like the one shots, you get the one issue and then that's the one story and you move on. I think they're I don't feel that they're grasping at straws with releasing that Joker image. I'm a little intrigued by it, and you can tell, at least when I first saw it and I'm like, that's taking place in the nightmare scene. So which means this nightmare scene is going to be a little bit bigger than what we saw, which is cool. But
theory on him. Do you? What are you thinking that entails? Are you? Let me
Before he
rephrase.
gets to the green thing, right? Before he gets to the box.
No.
Well, what did you do? You feel that this is taking inspiration from any story that's been done? Because I saw remnants of one that I was like, oh, if that's what they're doing, that's interesting. Even if it's like a tiny little nightmare sequence or however long it is.
Right. I want to get on that a little bit, but I
Okay.
kind of want to hear what Andres and Ash think about this new possible 3.5 hours of additional footage that no one's ever seen.
I'm good with that.
So what do you guys think, Andres? What do you think about this additional possible 3.5 hours of extra footage?
Fuck. Sorry. I'm not. Yes, I would like to see it. No, I'm in the same boat as Carmen, as in I'm not expecting much. If it's good, I'll be happy. If it's decent, I'll be happy. It's not going to be anything worse than the last movie, so fine. There's a bunch of stuff in there that I like, but you could also always have a bunch of extra stuff and throw it in a fucking movie and it not make sense and not be good going forward. So yeah, there's a lot of individual cool shit. The CGI on Henry Cavill's face looks way better than the fucking other movie. So that's dope. The costume looked good. The Joker looked awesome. The whole thing where they're just saying like, oh yeah, this is just a fucking one-shot universe. It sounds like a built-in escape plan. If the shit sucks, then fine. They lost a fuckload of money on the last one because they didn't recoup their money on it. They're re-releasing this. They spent 70 extra million dollars, and it's gonna be on fucking HBO Max and not gonna come out. I don't know. I'm excited for it, yes, but the more they keep fucking talking it up, it's all right, fine. Just fucking put it out and let us see it already.
What about you, Ash? What do you think?
I hope it's amazing, but even if it's amazing, it's gonna let me down because there's no future for Ben Affleck or Ray Fisher. So it's kind of a double-edged sword for me.
Okay.
Pending now. I mean, sure, Ben Affleck's like, I'm down tomorrow, but I'm saying as of right now, Ben Affleck's one more and he's done, right? As of right now. And then Ray Fisher is in the situation that he's in.
Right.
So I don't know. It's like, what do we do if it is amazing? At least it'll be a standalone amazing movie. I am expecting what everybody else is expecting, where it's, it really is going to be 8 minutes of new things that aren't going to make sense, but it's going to be cool because it references Death of Superman or it references whatever it's going to reference.
Right.
But at the same time, I obviously hope that it is going to be amazing because it was this guy's thought from the very beginning, and someone else took it over, and it was horrible. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was horrible because I enjoyed it as a popcorn flick, but it was no Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight to me. And it's not something I run to go see. Like, it's not something like I'm down for 3 hours, like Godfather 1 or 2.
Right.
But it is something that I wouldn't mind putting on in the background while working. But I'm hoping it's gonna be amazing, but I moreover want to move on to where are we going. I don't think we've gotten to it yet, clearly, but with the HBO Max situation of wanting to do what they're gonna do with the CW, like I'm looking more towards that. Like, show me what you're gonna show me, cool dog. And I understand now that you guys told me how much they missed out on money wise. Like, it does make sense. It's not, because it would be a whole other $17 billion at the theaters that they're not going to get because of COVID. Even this re-release would be in theaters if it wasn't for the situation we're in.
Right,
And
they're counting the way that they're counting their money now is subscribers onto HBO Max, because with Wonder Woman, they ended up getting like an additional 2 million subscribers on there, and they were expecting to hit that number within 3 years of HBO Max being up and running, but because of Wonder Woman, they hit that in the first year. So
and that was with a lot of promoting too. Maybe that's what they're trying
I mean,
for. Maybe that's
that would make sense because now they have these subscribers, they want to retain it, right? So
exactly.
They're like, hey, every month they're doing like a big blockbuster film, so they're like, we're dropping it at the same time as theaters, like. So I mean, if they're looking for a reason, because Netflix did a similar promotion where they're
every week for
Netflix,
is they're dropping a new movie for Netflix. But yeah, you're right, Luis. It's every month, like there's going to be a new movie on HBO Max, because I know this month was a little
thing.
Yes, thank you. There's that one, and then
you guys seen that, by the way?
I haven't, but I heard it's amazing. Yeah.
Good shit.
Okay, cool. And then obviously next month is Justice League, and then in April is going to be Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's going to be in April, and then we've got Kong, I think, in May. So yeah, it's roughly about.
Fuck you. Godzilla is in May.
Why do you think he's called King Kong? Because he fucks over Godzilla.
Not literally.
If you have HBO Max right now and you want to watch something, I just started a show called The Head, which is pretty good. So if you want, it's a series to waste some time on, go ahead and enjoy that. So let me know what you guys think.
What's it called?
The Head.
The Head?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max. So go enjoy.
Luis heard.
What genre is it?
It is a mystery thriller in Antarctica. So enjoy.
When you're done watching that, The Outsider, written by Stephen King. You saw that shit?
Yeah, bitch. I already told you. You should know that I've seen that.
I didn't mean to insult you, my friend. I apologize. Jason Bateman, Stephen King as a writer. Need I say more? So really fucking good. Very short. And then, but The Head, I'm gonna add that to my list. I didn't know about that one.
Right.
Very small little footnote regarding the trailer, which I could be totally fucking wrong. But I'm looking at you, Esteban, because I believe you played the first Injustice game. There's a storyline, and I started collecting the comic book after that because it turned into like a linear story.
I did not.
But in the video game, this happened. Well, in the Injustice video game, it's by the people that made the Mortal Kombat games. And so they had their own story to go along with this fighting video game. And Superman was a bad guy in this video game. And the reason he turned bad was because Joker wanted to corrupt him. And so what he did was he murdered Lois Lane, turned Soup's evil. Like, he's like, you know what? Fuck people. Like, nobody can be helped. And so then he just started going on a murder spree. And that's where Batman was standing. He's like, no, Clark, this isn't the way, blah, blah, blah. And so, I mean, this came out, when was the first game? Fucking almost 10 years ago, if not more. It came out in a time where we didn't get a lot of, outside of the Red Sun, there weren't a lot of different comic book arcs where Superman was the bad guy. Right. And then we're starting to see it more and more, so it's kind of a little oversaturated in my opinion. But the idea of this nightmare scene it would make sense to me if in seeing Joker there, like it looks like he's imprisoned, but I'm wondering if it's like they're actually trying to protect him from Soups, because in the Justice League movie that we did see, that it was like a similar looking basement.
Especially with the guilt that he felt about him dying. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. And it would just, because I'm trying to piece it with the fractions of the movie that we did see. Right. Like in Batman vs. Superman, there's that scene where Flash tells Batman, like it's too late, you need to get everyone or whatever, and then they just like never talked about that again, which I'm hoping they touch more on that. Ezra Miller was trying to communicate with them, but Batman took it as, oh, if there's even a 1% chance that he's going to turn bad, I need to take it as an absolute. So he was just like blinded by that or whatever. But if they were to turn that back to be, oh, it was because in this nightmare sequence this alternate reality, he turned evil because of what's his face killing Lois Lane, Joker killing Lois Lane, blah blah blah, and then yeah. So
Yeah. Did anybody else laugh at that line you just repeated, or was it just me?
No,
Wait.
I chuckled a little.
Wait, what line?
That is bad writing.
That was bad writing.
If there's 1%.
Oh, I need to take it as an absolute. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why a lot of
sorry.
that movie's dialogue like stuck with me. Sorry, go ahead.
Because it was that bad.
Actually, I really enjoyed the "Do you bleed" line. I do enjoy it. Even though again I know it gets made fun of a lot. Like, do you bleed? You will. Yeah, like I still think that's fucking cool. But
so DC always had their like, what if what version of what if is called elsewhere. So they have like the alternate.
They do that a lot
of heroes / villains.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, Deceased is a really good comic book line.
Deceased is fucking amazing.
I have the room. I'd go pull it out, but
yeah,
nice.
there's 3 arcs if I'm not mistaken.
I only read the first one.
There's 3 arcs on there. There's Deceased, then there's Deceased Unkillables, and then there's Deceased Dead Planet, I believe.
And yes, Ash, it is on Comixology. Check out the first one.
Like, I'm not kidding.
Put out one.
And so
the
it's
variant
just
covers of that are so good,
dude.
Yes.
Oh my god, the variant covers are
especially the horror movie tie-in ones.
Yes.
Those are the absolute best.
So for the uninitiated, Deceased is a storyline where a lot of the main comic book heroes die, or let me rephrase that: DC heroes die. Thus the name DC and then East. And so it just shows this world of what like there's this massive virus that just wipes everyone out.
Right.
See what they're doing with that. So and it just kind of shows of like where it gets to. It's pretty fucking good. And
It's
like what
really
Andres was
good.
saying, a lot of the variants were very interesting. Very interesting.
I think the Superman variant was probably one of my favorites.
I
What was
love
the cover?
The cover.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
It was they mimicked the poster of The Nun.
That's fucking cool.
My
That was
favorite
cool.
is the Nightmare on Elm Street one where it's Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
What? That's
Yeah.
so
Dude, you
insane.
I
haven't
have
seen
it. I'll
those?
throw it in the group.
No, man.
This is where Heavyweight would love a fucking.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
sure.
share it.
We'll work on that. We'll work on it. And then I think the other one was an It one. It was
I have that
Robin.
too.
Robin was on the cover of it, and you just see the red balloon and a white glove holding the balloon.
Louis takes it.
The Louise.
The Louis takes it.
The horror covers were really, really good, and if you're just there to collect them just because of that do yourselves a favor, and if you love the love horror movies, just pick those up. Those just the horror covers alone are epic. So moving on to the next topic, and Ash kind of touched on it a little bit, was there was an announcement that was made, and Ash always touches on things.
Yeah, he does.
And then leaves it alone and then never goes back to it.
Yeah, he did.
But it's enough for you to mention it.
I know. So,
Hashtag never forget.
Hashtag Ash.
Oh no. No. I disagree with that hashtag.
The CW and HBO Max are in talks to begin co-financing original shows, and these original shows are going to premiere on HBO Max and the following day premiere on the CW. What do you guys think about this overall? Ash, what do you think about this?
Is it going to be like a Hulu thing where they'll show on CW and then tomorrow it's going to be?
It's the other way around. It's going to be HBO Max first, and then the CW the following day.
Oh, then I'm in. I'm again, it's something somebody else tried, but it's like I said in the chat, like it's so funny that no matter what, these worlds are always going to be different. Like, okay, well, you got DC Plus, then I'm going to go to Disney Plus. We're going to go to HBO Max. Like, it's just always funny. It's just, I don't know.
I mean, I would love for it to be both studios coming together to be like, hey, let's make some grade A shit. My guess is that they're going to pull the plug on the CW Seed, that app that the CW has, and they're just gonna be like, oh, instead of using that, we'll just throw them onto exclusively on HBO Max because it's all under the Warner Brothers umbrella. So instead of spreading ourselves out too much, let's bring it all together on the one platform to make it super strong. And because they have that DC category, they'll be able to throw more shit in there. So as far as if you want to throw more content in there, that makes sense to them. But I don't think that they're gonna be hiring better writers and better effect. Like, I don't think we're gonna see Netflix quality shit. I think
Like,
it's
that's exactly where I was going. If you make a better looking, better show, period, then I'm all for it. If not, then it's just a way I could watch a show earlier than on regular TV, and I don't give a fuck about that.
And even then, and if it's a show that we can just watch earlier, I don't want to watch a shitty show. So if it's 30 episodes of a show that's mediocre, and if it's already on fucking season 20, or what, Flash is celebrating season 8, right? Aren't they premiering season 7?
7.
But I don't know, like, what universe is this? And he told Iris that they were supposed to be together in season 2, but is that still real? So there's like a whole thing, and I don't know, man. I am cautiously optimistic. Carmen, what do you feel?
I think it's just a way of them. They know that the CW app isn't really kind of pulling people, because let's be honest, like if you're paying for services, streaming services, CW is not one that you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely gonna have that. You know what I mean? So
But my Vampire Diaries. I'm absolutely kidding.
My Dawson's Creek, son.
Yeah,
exactly.
I thought Hulu.
Shit.
So I think it's kind of like, oh, we're gonna transition eventually to HBO, but for now, because we're still on regular TV or cable network or whatever, like we're gonna let you watch these shows the next day, but they're gonna be released first on the app. So it kind of just pushes people to go to the app first, and kind of like driving people to go on that route. But I'm on the same opinion with you guys as far as if the shows are going to be as lame as the CW ones are with the writing and like the never ending 20 episodes of the same fucking plot. You know, like with Flash, it's something either happens to Iris or something happens to Flash, and it's like, okay,
but
that's cool. But next,
thank
you. Can you give me a different storyline? Go ahead. No, please ask.
There's a difference. There's a different budget for 8 episodes compared to 22.
True.
So if they could.
But speaking on that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you're talking about 8 episodes or 22 episodes, would you not rather be given 8 quality episodes than 22 shitty ass episodes?
But they also have to service. Nope. They also have to serve the CW like content on CW. They won't go 8 episodes and and Golden Girls. Like they're gonna do the season that they, plus, and then on top of that, they're gonna do that mid-season bullshit where for 2 months they're not gonna show it and then come back on episode 9. So it's still gonna suck for everybody. Oh, I'm talking myself out of getting this thing already.
Dude, you don't have to do anything. You already have HBO Max. You don't have to do anything. But here's the thing. This is the one gripe when I saw the headline. This is the one thing, and it goes down to exactly what you guys have been saying. It's quality over quantity at this point. You're gonna watch something on HBO Max first that you can watch for free the next day on CW at a certain time. And you already know the quality of stuff that the CW puts out, and you're still willing to watch it a day early. So it doesn't make sense. It would be a lot better if they came together and created an original story where, and because they're going to have to, if it's going to be on HBO, they can only go in a box. They cannot get out of that box because it has to air on national television. So they're stuck inside this box that they can't be free from in order to have that HBO pizzazz to it. You know what I mean?
Has
But
anyone
also,
watched that Stargirl bullshit that
No.
HBO Max did?
Yeah, that wasn't great. But
Oh wait, you did see it?
I saw like 3 episodes of it.
No.
How dare you.
3.
You're invested. You might as well finish it.
Please, okay, give us a summary of the 3 you saw, please. Because the only reason I'm bringing this up, and I swear it wasn't out of left field, was because Esteban, you were just saying if they were to come up with an original story, I'm like, I think they did. I don't think it did well, but I didn't watch any of it.
No, it did. Didn't it come out on CW first, and then it got moved over to HBO Max?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
did. I think
Yes,
it came
it
in on the
did.
CW, but that's the worst thing is that what they ended up doing was they premiered it on a Sunday. You know, and it's just one of those things, and which I didn't know. I didn't know this. If you want to premiere a TV show and you expect the TV show to do well, you're going to do it on prime time on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Okay. You put a TV show.
You were right.
See,
it premiered in the CW with consisted of 13 episodes. No, it premiered on HBO Max, and then on the following day, Broadcast Network on CW.
Okay, so it's still shit.
So they did the thing that they're claiming to. So the thing that they said that they were going to start doing, they've already done it once. So their test pilot of it was Stargirl,
and it did shitty.
They greenlit a season 2.
Okay, well, you know.
Well, I found this news by accident. I'm sorry, guys.
How dare you?
I have an idea. HBO just gave me my Justice League Dark and fuck off.
You just took my next sentence. I was like, we could get Justice League Dark.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna happen.
If they keep Matt Ryan, dude, I'd fucking see that guy make a ham sandwich. Like, I very much enjoy him.
I just recently saw Constantine, City of Demons, and that threw me out of left field, and I'm like, oh, wow, that was
man, it was good.
Amazing. That was great.
That's the one where he pairs up with Zatanna, right?
No.
Oh.
It was the Nightmare Nurse. And Chaz was there, and he had to save his daughter.
Yes, yeah. Which is an original character, but then in the short-lived CBS show, Chaz was in it, and then they brought him into the. Oh, that was fun. I very much enjoyed that.
Chaz was a short-lived character.
Yeah, from my understanding, he. I mean, from the. Let me rephrase this. From the books that I've read, from the
Hellblazer.
Thank you. You remind me every day why I like you. Yeah, from the Hellblazer comics, Chaz was never a character.
What if they even change it? And since CW had Constantine, the new thing would be called Hellblazer.
That was so fucking good.
Cool, right?
I don't think it. Yeah.
Matt Ryan. That'd be cool. And then it's just like not a reboot, but just continue from where
soft reboot.
Just nobody says anything,
Yeah.
New name.
I mean, they kind of soft rebooted him when he was he was like a regular character in Legends of Tomorrow, and I was watching a little bit of that, and then there's no reason I stopped watching it. Just that
maybe too many episodes.
There was a lot of episodes, a lot of commercials on the CW Seed. Because I think I downloaded the Seed app because of the cross the big episode thing. But then I was watching Legends.
There's also a different master you have to serve from network to the streaming service. With the streaming service, I mean they may have less requirement to like make sure you have a Snickers bar during the scene. Like they may have less requirement for all the bullshit.
Yeah.
So we could get side characters. We could get I mean there's a Doom Patrol cyborg that maybe could get. I don't know. I don't want to get into that.
Well, I mean, but I think that the primary focus should be you getting a better microphone because your microphone is so bad.
Straight for the jugular on that one, huh?
I mean, let's be honest. It was either going to be me or it was going to be someone else that said it.
But you know what's fair though is that his microphone sounds legit. Like when I hear all the stuff back, like Andres sounds better than I do. I got a headset. Like fucking Christ, I need a microphone.
I have a phone.
You have a really high-end phone, I'm guessing.
Well, I mean, it's an iPhone, so.
But I need to work on that.
So
Anyway, sorry. Back to you, Esteban.
let's keep going on the HBO Max train. And recently, we had some casting news on the the new upcoming HBO series, The Last of Us, which is based on a video game. We have casted Ellie and Joel, the two main characters in The Last of Us. First off, anyone played The Last of Us?
I did.
Yes. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
I haven't.
Sorry.
Me I don't
and
have
Ash,
a PlayStation.
Me and Ash raised our hands.
I shake my head, yes.
Oh,
I shook it from my head, yes.
I shook it from my head.
So
the one over his shoulders.
No. So we have casted two characters, or the main characters have been cast. The first one for Ellie is going to be Bella Ramsey, and if that name sounds familiar, that is Lyanna Mormont in Game of Thrones. No?
Yes.
Yes.
I know who she is, but she has a weird face.
What the fuck is happening?
I have no
Just
idea.
me? Just me?
Yeah, that was Luis. Everybody, that was Luis on Spotify.
You realize she's a child, right?
Yeah, she has a weird face.
You're a sick man.
Okay.
Okay, so-
All right.
What does that mean
What
for
about
cat?
the
Like,
face
that was-
bothers you?
Great.
Nope. This is a
You want the
corner
shovel?
that
There's a bigger shovel I can give you.
appreciate that.
And
Cheese it.
and it
She
looks
stole
like-
scenes in Godfather, in Game of Thrones, like
yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And Godfather.
and Godfather. Wait, he was born, but
And we also have casted, Joel has been casted, and it is Pedro Pascal.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like Pedro Pascal is majorly on the radar right now for a lot of studios. So as one of my friends ended up indicating when I sent him the information on this, he goes, well, it looks like Pedro Pascal is the flavor of the week. You know, he's being
He's
picked
in a
up.
lot of projects.
He is, and I was doing some research on him, and there's a lot of stuff that he's been in that I had no idea that he was in.
it's probably pissing off Michael B. Jordan and Tom Hardy.
Because he's starting to catch up. That he's starting to catch up to them.
Yeah.
You know.
They fucking want to cast him and everything. Yeah, no. But
Yeah.
he touches gold. Well, not Wonder Woman, but he was one of the best parts of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but then again, it was also one of those things that was brought to my attention by one of my friends, by Rigo, my best friend Rigo. He goes, the one thing that kind of annoyed me about what you guys didn't talk about was how shitty of a father Pedro Pascal was in that entire movie. Like, that was not brought up at all.
That's a comment we could have talked about.
Yeah. So there was that.
I thought he was a great father.
I did have a mini panic.
Oh yes, leaving the son.
I did have a mini panic attack when the kid was trying to reach him on the phone and they were trying to burst the door down.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, something got said. Was it like Christopher Reeve on a horse thing? Was it that status?
It was about that level, because Luis goes, I thought he was a great father.
All right.
So bad. So how do you guys feel about this casting? Do you guys agree, disagree? Aside from Bella,
Pedro
Ramsey's
Pascal,
face,
I think he can.
that Luis
I mean,
was
besides her face, I mean, I would. Yeah, I can accept it.
You can accept her face.
I can accept her face in that role.
Okay, can you go ahead and put out your email right now, please? Because please don't email
Still on her
podcast.
face? What the fuck?
Pedro Pascal, I think, would do an amazing job as
Joel.
leading that as Joel. That's such a great fucking film, or a great video game that was done in a way of a film. So it's, I mean, my fear is, I think it's the curse. There hasn't been a good video game movie
until Mortal Kombat. We'll have to wait and see until Mortal Kombat.
Well, I enjoyed the first Mortal Kombat. Like, I think that is probably the exception to the rule, you know?
I mean,
but
it was
like,
the 90s, so yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a bunch of martial arts shit. Like, a lot of it didn't really make sense, but I'm okay with it. Like, but so many movies, it's like they don't lean into the video game weirdness about it. Like, it's just it goes in a different direction. But if they even stick to the story, I think it'd be good.
I think the most quotable line in that Mortal Kombat movie is the dream sequence, Liu Kang's dream sequence, when Shao Tsung goes,
Soul is
"Yo,
mine."
brother, soul is mine."
Yeah, and then Ash, you've played the game. How do you feel about the casting?
I would have rather had Jamie Lannister, a black-haired Jamie Lannister. I'm going based on looks on to add to the show. I'm not willing to say someone's looks are weird, especially to a little girl. But I mean, you have different aspirations when you call a guy in Wonder Woman a good father. So either way, I know where your statistics lie. So I think I just would rather have seen that
Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow, dude.
He's what is happening?
We're going down a dark road right now.
He's a very grizzled guy that's made to save his daughter. And then with Lady Marmont is a perfect pick because in that game, let's just use the word, the father falls ill and you play as her and you have to fucking hunt and kill and blah blah blah. And in her scene, she was like an adult decisions, adult everything. So it was kind of cool. So I think they picked the right girl. There was even discussion of why they didn't choose Ellen Page because they stole her image, which that's a whole different.
I'm sorry,
that's a
you
whole
have
different
to
thing.
say Elliot
She's
Page.
a dude
Elliot
now, right?
Page.
Yeah, it's Elliot Page.
Page.
Elliot
Yes.
Page, and she's 35 years old.
But
She can play a fucking 14-year-old kid, though.
I agree.
Like she has that. She doesn't age.
They just banned.
Not anymore. I think she's going through her transition. He's going through his transition. So I don't think those roles apply any longer to him.
That's fair.
But I mean, I didn't really follow the whole thing about, Naughty Dog. It was Naughty Dog, right? The studio that ended up taking his likeness to the game. So, I honestly didn't, when they first announced The Last of Us TV show, I did not expect Elliot Page to be casted be in the cast, at all.
With age alone.
Right. I don't, because, and I think you really see it more in Umbrella Academy season 2. You can see that he's aged a bit and can't play the younger teenage roles like before. So I did not expect Ellen Page to be in that Elliot Page to be in The Last of Us. So that's just me.
I dig that. Andres, you played the game too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Have you played part 2? I haven't played part 2 yet.
No,
I
sir.
have not. No. I stopped playing video games right at The Last of Us. That's probably
that was the last. That was your last hurrah.
Yeah.
I haven't played The Last of Us period because I don't have a PlayStation. So.
I have been clutching onto video games. I refuse to let them go.
Good. I'm glad. I will live vicariously through you, sir.
Yay.
Forever vicariously.
All right, back to you, Esteban.
So going back to the casting news, it looks like that the role of Kraven the Hunter has been pitched to none other than the chosen one, Keanu Reeves. What do you guys think about Keanu possibly accepting a role to play Kraven the Hunter?
Andres, I'll let you take. Oh, sorry.
I don't know the character Kraven the Hunter, and yes, you all can roll your eyes at me, and I will get to it. But I like Keanu Reeves, so whatever he's in, it will be good for me. But again, I don't know the character, so I don't know if he would do it justice. However, I think Keanu Reeves is an excellent actor, so yes.
Cool. If I would recommend jumping into the Spider-Man cartoon and watching the Kraven the Hunter episodes.
Yeah. The animated series.
Yeah, I would say jump on those.
Okay. I'm almost done with Batman the Animated Series. I'll
Nice.
jump on that after.
Very
Fucking
cool.
A.
I think
Good
I think
job.
that one it's on Disney Plus. The Spider-Man animated series. It's on Disney
Whole thing?
Plus. Yeah.
Got
Luis,
it.
what do you think?
Actually, you know what? Similar to what Carmen said. I mean, if they cast Keanu Reeves, I have faith in him enough.
Mhm.
Like he plays the same character in most of his movies, but he still has a certain charisma about him that I would appreciate. And so it would
Okay.
probably, if they did bring him in, I see him doing a modern take on Kraven the Hunter. Like I see him as a rich snobby dude that just wants to well, oh my god. It's Dangerous Game. Is that the name of the novel? Where the rich guy hires a bunch of poor people to run around in his like mansion. He tries to kill him. No,
I have no idea.
sorry. But it's a very well known story, and
Okay.
they just do that a lot. And if it was to be like a form like that, and he's just like he's looking for Dangerous Game, and it so happens to be Spider-Man, like I can see it maybe being like that. But the Craven the Hunter that I know that I grew up with, that's not him. Like that would be more of a more ruggedy, like Wolverine type character, like
Okay.
just someone that's just I don't know, that's hunting in Africa, like the way that he is in the comic books or the cartoon show, and it's just like
Right.
this crazy fucking guy.
Okay.
Andres,
Yeah, pretty much agree with everybody so far. Yeah, when I would first think of who to cast for Craven the Hunter, I wouldn't think of Keanu, just because of the body type. Craven looks a little more muscular, I guess, frame wise. But yeah, if Keanu gets a character, I have enough faith in him that he could pull it off. So I'm cool with it. Not that my opinion matters, of course, but yeah.
There was
the studios are waiting on your opinion, sir.
Yeah,
Don't say that. Don't say that.
there was I don't know if it was a fan cast or what, but Jason Momoa as Craven.
Fuck yes, I dig that.
How do you guys feel about? There's so many fucking actors that are probably. I mean, I don't know. Do you just go by the name? Like, it's just at least with Bane. Like now he could be Venom because Bane isn't an option anymore. You know what I mean? It's just weird when people play two. It's hard for me to.
No,
It's a
you've
different
always had that problem. I don't give a shit as long as you do a good job.
I agree. I'm right there with you, Andres.
You don't speak for me. I speak for my own self. I'm a human. I do what I want. God damn it. And I was. It is the Most Dangerous Game is the novel. 1964 author is Gavin Law, and that was the story of hunting humans or hunting a dangerous game. Blah blah blah. Sorry.
It's a human is the most interesting. If you ever seen Zodiac with
Robert Downey Jr. and Jake
with
Gyllenhaal?
Robert Downey Jr. and Jake Gyllenhaal, that book is mentioned a lot.
And I know this is a very much a parody of it, but also The Pest, starring John Leguizamo in the 1991 movie, like that one too.
That's cool.
Yeah, that one's a parody of the Dangerous Game, Most Dangerous Game. Anyway,
all right, very very cool. Also, there was some news that William Dafoe apparently showed up on set on Spider-Man 3. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of over the Spider-Man 3 news. So I'm kind of over it,
Same.
because I feel that movie's already jam-packed to the gills, and the last time something like that where it was jam-packed, it turned out being really really shitty. So there's that. That's my opinion on the whole William Dafoe showing up on set.
I kind of wanted to deal with. I mean, you could have based the whole movie on everybody knows his identity. If you're going off, spoiler alert, if you're going off of part 2.
Yeah, I mean, you could have, but I mean, like I said, I'm probably gonna get into this when we start talking about WandaVision, but I think that movie's
The universe kind of thing.
Yeah, that movie's too packed. There's too much going on in there with Jamie Foxx and William Dafoe, and then all 3 Spider-Men being in there.
we don't know how deep of a role they're all going to play, though. For all we know, it's going to be like a kind of like the nightmare sequence where, I mean, in the I guess we'll refer to it as in the Joss Whedon version.
Yeah.
It was just what, a 5-minute sequence, which
Mhm.
I guess it turns out that Snyder wanted it longer than that. But I mean, 5 minutes can still make a big impact. Like I still saw
I've
Batman
ended many
pull
days
the
saying that.
yeah, I still saw Batman pull the trigger on a gun and kill people with a gun, which bothered me. So, and the rest of the movie kind of, the rest of the movie, I was just kept thinking about that. It's like you don't fucking understand these heroes. So, I mean, yeah, I guess it could ruin it, but it could also be very light, if just like sprinkled in.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I'm kind of over the news. I mean, I think the last thing that really got me hyped was the whole Charlie Cox finishing his scenes. That was the last thing that really got me hyped about it. And then after that, everything else just I could really care less.
Fuck you, Andres.
I didn't say anything.
I know. I
He's
see your
just
stupid
mad.
face. He's smiling.
He's just mad. And then watch, you're gonna see, John Barenthal's casted or is gonna reprise his role.
No.
It would be cool to see the cover of that though. The when he's holding the cover, he's like that.
Oh yeah, that's Amazing Spider-Man
scope?
129.
That'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Does everybody feel the same about that? The whole William Dafoe, shut up on set, can care less. Yeah. All
Yeah, I think we got nods all around.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the part of the show. I kind of want to touch on it a little bit, but I kind of don't want it to go on a tangent, but I know it's going to. So I'm going to try to make this really, really brief. So recently, Gina Carano was fired from Star Wars for some very controversial things that she's posted on her social media.
Horrible shit.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Is it something we should look up on our own, or do we have examples? Because I'm fresh to the situation.
I can give one example. I'll just paraphrase one of the articles.
Sure,
Okay.
Go ahead.
The Nazis were the Nazis were misunderstood. That the Nazis, yeah. So that's all I'll say. If you're interested in reading the full article, please Google it. Like her actual tweets and the shit she references are there, and some of it is pretty extreme shit. And I mean, I'll pitch it back. I'll give it back to you, Esteban. I know you were talking about how ultimately this is a job, right? Like she got hired. She got hired to do a job, and
this is yes, you're absolutely correct. And this is the one thing, because apparently I posted something today on Instagram and it got a few people riled up. So look, this is all I'm going to say is the person that ended up posting the video that I stitched from TikTok had some valid points. I don't agree with all of his points, okay, but has some valid points. And the point that I'm addressing at this state and time is the fact that yes, everybody has freedom of speech, 100%. That's fine. That's all fine and dandy. But just because you have freedom of speech does not give you freedom of consequence. You say stupid shit and you're hired by an elite company like Disney. If you put out and post shit that you're not, that yes, to you it's freedom of speech, and again, by all means you can post whatever you want,
I think it's simpler than that though. Like the dude that works at let's say hypothetically speaking, I work at a bank, right? Not saying I do or don't, and a customer walks in and I say, what do you want, you dumb cunt? And now my bosses come to me and say, hey, you can't talk like that. But, oh, freedom of speech. I thought this was America. And everyone has consequence. We all have consequence for what our actions are. And we just have to make that evaluation of, with every action, there's consequence. And that's just the way life is. Exactly. If I inhale, I exhale. Like there's balance. There's equal exchange in everything in life. So if you choose to die on this hill and you're going to make these comments or statements or whatever because you feel so strongly about it, then great, more power to you. But whatever those repercussions are, that's also a part of it.
Exactly.
And I think we would agree there, right?
Right. Absolutely. And that's the only point that I was trying to make, is that you have this, you say this, be prepared to face the consequences. That's all that I'm saying. I'm not saying, one thing's right, another thing's wrong, or these are my political views. That is not what I was saying at all. All I'm saying is that yes, freedom of speech, everybody's entitled to it. It is the First Amendment, but be prepared to answer to those consequences if you get in trouble for what you specifically say. That's all I'm saying.
So
You
a
know?
lot of the shit she's. Sorry, go ahead, Carmen.
I'm just gonna piggyback off of what you're saying, Esteban, and just because of the type of work that I do every day and what I deal with, I know a lot of companies right now they have to really watch out for what their employees say on their own personal post. Um, and there has been cases brought to the court that the company is held liable for the views expressed by their employees. So therefore, if we're looking at this through the lenses of Disney, this is what needed to happen just because if they don't separate themselves from this individual or any individual that expresses any thoughts in this manner, they can be held liable for these thoughts of expressions. Now, I do want to say that I don't agree with her opinions. I don't, and this is just me speaking personally. I am not speaking for anyone else in the group or in the chat. I don't agree with what she was talking about, what she was posting, and I completely am in support of Disney's decisions of why they decided to kind of separate from her and kind of just let her go. Yes, I do agree that everybody should be entitled to their opinion, to their free of speech, and you can have whatever beliefs that you want to have. Trust me, I hold my own beliefs in certain subjects, but when you express them publicly, do know that there are repercussions for that because not only, yes, you may be speaking for yourself, but if you have contracts going with anyone, you're also kind of an extension of that company of that brand or whatever. So that people going forward just kind of need to understand that everything is connected. I mean, this is why we're having a president go through impeachment trials, because of what was said on a public forum. And it's just kind of like everything is kind of connected, even though we don't want it to. Like, even with me just saying like, hey, this is my own opinion, but somebody can comment and be like, oh, well, I don't agree with you, but they're still commenting on this podcast, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, we have to know what we say is kind of connected with everything, even though it is our own opinion, it affects the whole.
The bubble.
In a way, and I'm not saying 100% it affects it, but it does.
Right. And I'm not going to, and yes, there have been other cases where other actors have posted certain things that, and there's always that. And if you want to go tit for tat, then go tit for tat. But again, it's going to be one of those things where, all I was expressing was freedom of speech equals consequences. So just be ready and be prepared.
Which is not wrong. And that goes in everything. And I think that's,
of course.
That really goes in everything. You burn a log, the log turns to ash. You can't have fire and then not ash.
Not
but it's just like one thing leads actions to another. So
of course,
I don't know. I think, I mean, again, the story goes further. If you want to look into it, you can.
Do it yourself,
We don't really want to repeat it here because it's a lot of negative shit. Or at least
it's not even like the first offense kind of a thing, right? Like we didn't even let you go on.
No, definitely not. This has been ongoing for like a year.
Yeah, this is like the third or fourth time that she had been trending on Twitter for certain things that she says. Not saying that it's okay to go 2, 3, 4 times to go trending. Not saying that, oh, well, this is her fourth offense, so finally they're going to go ahead and do something.
Right.
I'm just saying that this is the third or fourth time that she has said something, and again, just like we're saying, you have your beliefs, your political stands, whatever. You can choose and pick and choose the hill that you're going to die on to hold that flag. That's not us. This is we have our own opinions, and when we comment as ourselves, not as the podcast, because we don't speak for. I don't speak for Carmen. I don't speak for Ash. I don't speak for Luis, and I definitely don't speak for Andres. So
wait, why did he get it definitely, and then we all just got? I don't speak for that guy, and Andres definitely not for you, sir. I respect you. I respect you.
Well, I'm just saying. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So,
But Drunk Ash speaks for all of us.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely, Drunk Ash.
Cheers
There's
to
no
that.
stopping him. There's
Cheers.
no stopping him.
Drunk
So-
Ash can barely speak, so I doubt that he can speak for all of us.
That's very true. So this is
God, I
gonna
love you,
be-
Andreas. You're so positive, bro. Like, fuck, you should be a fucking something speaker.
I'm not your guru.
Motivational speaker.
I'm not sure.
Motivational speaker. That's what I was talking about. Go
So
ahead.
this is
moderate.
the part where we're gonna go ahead and hit Wanda Vision territory. And I'm sorry, Carmen, but we have now retired your alert. Your
We're gonna put
alert.
up your jersey though.
Well, we are gonna hang up your jersey in the rafters. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and hit with the new spoiler alert. So this is gonna be the new spoiler alert moving forward. And now that we're now moving into the WandaVision. So this is WandaVision episode 5. Spoilers. If you guys have not seen it, go watch it. I don't know what you guys are waiting for. Go watch it because the season's already almost over. We got 9 episodes. Starting Friday is episode 6, and we got 3 more to go. So overall review, my review for this episode was great. I loved it. I have a lot of theories and speculations and whatnot, and just like Heavyweight commented early on in the podcast, where we're thinking who the aerospace engineer may be. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to say it's probably going to be Reed Richards.
Boom, motherfuckers.
Mhm.
That's what I'm assuming. I'm
A
assuming it's
boom.
going to be Reed Richards. I
Well-
like how they brought Evan Peters in. But I have to go back and watch it because apparently they're saying, I didn't see it, I have to watch it again. They're saying that his image in the mirror is reflected like red. So it's not really him, but in the mirror it's someone else or something else.
Mephisto.
It's possible that it could be Mephisto, but I've been reading a little bit more about what Marvel's trying to do as far as open up the platform worldwide. And what I didn't know was that apparently in China, they do not like anything that that talks about demons or the devil or anything like that. So it's possible that it could change if they end up, releasing something out there. So I don't know. I mean, that's what I was reading, something along those lines that they're not into. That's something that they don't deal with over there in their movies and their TV shows and whatnot. So there's speculations that it could very well be Nightmare is the villain in WandaVision. So
What's the neighbor's name?
Agnes.
She's supposed to be a witch, correct?
That's
I
what
guess that's
everyone's
part, no?
assuming.
That's the
And there's another person that's supposed to be a
running
witch
theory.
in theory. Okay. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that it's supposed to be wrapping up. It's going to wrap up really, really well. And I think, who was it? Kevin Feige said that by the end of WandaVision, they would go into a modern quote unquote office style sitcom. And I think that's kind of where I'm kind of leaning towards a Reed Richards, possible John Krasinski, Reed Richards, which I hope and pray would be fucking amazing, but we'll see. Andres,
Hopefully he does a bunch of looks at the camera that
There you go. Andres, what do you think? Who's
The
your
episode was
pick
really
for this?
good. One part that I found interesting was when they scanned Monica Rambeau, and they didn't see any of the her brain scans. It was all, there was no legions. So I thought I read something about that. That's where she got her powers going forward. Was because of Wanda. So if that comes from it, that would be pretty cool. The episode was good. I liked seeing Evan Peters as Pietro. I like the whole how Vision is coming to realize that something's going on. and how they had the little fight scene when they both went into the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the show's really good. I'm looking forward to the next episode and seeing how they wrap it up. I like Jimmy Woo and Darcy. I hope that they have a show in the future together. I
Their
like,
spin-off show? That would be cool.
yeah. So,
All right.
and with that drop, sorry, Ash, the drop that Kevin Feige did, mentioning The Office, that if it happens to be John Krasinski as Reed Richards, that'd be pretty fucking cool. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah, I think everyone would lose their collective shit if that ended up happening. Luis, you look very pensive, man. What do you think?
No, that's exactly it. I think that, like, what? Okay, either it was played beautifully well, or she undersold it in saying there was that interview that what's her name? Caitlin Olsen?
No,
Elizabeth Olsen, sorry. In the interview, she's like, "Oh, we have like a Luke level fucking whatever mindfuck thing," and if it was what we just saw in this last episode, that's not Luke level. Like
But maybe she's not a comic book nerd, and that is Luke level to her.
And there lies my point. It's either she thought that that's what it would have been, and she's like, didn't I say it? Like,
and everyone's looking at her like, no.
Or there's two, and it's like in boxing, how you do the jab to set up for the knockout punch. You know what I mean? So this could be the jab. This could be the, hey, keep your eye on the birdie, and then boom. And the second piece of it, I would love it for it to be Magneto. But what would be the one thing that we wouldn't see coming, but yet was obvious from the beginning? The Office. That would be so fucking, and especially because that fan cast came out, what, like 2 years ago?
Dude, that fan cast has been around longer than 2 years.
And just that idea of like the Hollywood power couple, fucking John Krasinski and
Emily Blunt.
And if the both of them were to come in, like, and if Emily Blunt was to play the role of Pam, like, I just see they can have so much fun with that. Even if it dies there, even if it doesn't actually turn into, you know, the like them being Reed Richards and the Invisible Woman, but if they were like to refer to each other as Reed or Doctor, and like maybe they didn't even call him, like, I just see so much potential fun there, and it's just like, and are we getting hints, or are the nerds just over speculating? Like, it's a fun time. It's just a matter of like kind of wait and see what happens. You're good. Like, everyone's guess is just that. It's a guess, and we'll see where it goes.
So also another way too, by bringing them to the theory that we brought in, that Chris Evans as Human Torch again could also feed into, being that it's mesh worlds or whatever we're going to do with this. Like, it's another way for him to be in it without being in it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay. Carmen, what do you think?
I love this episode. Especially my favorite part of the episode was when she's having that talk with the twins, and about Sparky the dog dying. And she's like, you can't age up because that's not how you deal with things. But it's like exactly what she's doing. You know what I mean? Like, she created this alternate reality to deal with the losses that she's, you know, her brother and Vision. So I thought that was pretty cool, or like pretty on point on like how they're handling this show. And I was like, oh, that's pretty neat the way that she's explaining it, but she doesn't realize that that's the same thing that she's doing to them. And then there was the other part where she's when we hear the knocking on the door, and right before that she's talking to Vision, and she says that she's not quite sure that she didn't do that. She didn't do the knocking, or like she doesn't even know how this started. Like, I think that's gonna pay off in some way in the end, because there has to be something else that's also pulling the strings, not just her. Her is the majority of it, but there's like another force there also. And then I don't know who that could be.
I mean, we have our theories.
I have
but,
some ideas. Yeah.
There are guesses. Yeah.
It could be even she's such a threat to Mephisto that everything's cool, but now that she's aware of the outside world and the outside world's trying to get in, Mephisto could keep throwing things at her to try to keep her in her little world. Could be that.
I don't think that's necessarily it. I mean,
no, fuck that. No, I'm sorry.
No. Jesus.
Oh, everyone's going with their opinions, and I can't say my opinion.
No,
All right, fuck me. I'm gonna go kill myself.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, I mean, that I guess that's not typically Mephisto's motive, is, seeing her as a threat. I mean, he's a demon. He makes deals, you know what I mean? So I see it more that if it is him that is the villain. So I'm not poo-pooing on your theory, Ash. It's quite possible that could be.
There's that whole scene where she stepped out of the town and told us to stop fucking with her shit, and that was their only warning.
That's the part that it's like, I know she knows, because it's like she's come across the director already, because she immediately went to him and she goes, I'm not the one pointing the guns, director. So she's aware of him. She knows who he is. And did anybody notice that the drone that they flew in, that she brought in, had Stark Industries right on the side of it?
I didn't notice.
I did not notice.
It said Stark Industries on there. Yeah. So that was actually kind of cool.
Dude, that whole episode was cool.
That whole episode was great. It's like it's one of those episodes that needs a rewatch to kind of catch everything.
No.
So, and I think the one of the things that Wanda even told the twins was, because the twins kept on telling her, well, fix it, you can fix it, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of looked at him, she goes, no, this is one of those things that I can't fix. I can't do that, but in theory, she really did, if she was the one to bring Vision back, if it was her that brought him back, So I'm interested to see what.
But I think that's why the kids were telling her that. They're like, come on, Mom. Come on. Like
nudging her, like egging her on.
Yeah. Right. Like, bitch, I know you can do it. Like,
whoa.
Well, we have this. That's another thing. It's like, are those children an extension of her? So
are they real?
Yeah, they would know, because we know the townsfolk are real.
Right.
But kids.
Are the kids? Yeah, because
aren't we assuming that they're not assuming, but aren't they real because her powers don't work on them? Like when she tried to stop them from crying and she couldn't stop that, or even them aging themselves out, she couldn't stop them either.
But it's because of
valid point.
It's because of that I think that they're not real, though, because she's able to manipulate everything in that world, and so this would represent like her mortality, sort of. And not to get too much into the comic book, but like, with her kids in the comic books, she didn't have too much control over them either. So and that's all I'll say about it. Not say anything more, but just it's they can take it in a variety of different ways, except for the one way that Ash said. That was dumb, but every other possible.
Sure is.
Funny, you dick. It's one of those shows that honestly you had to sit through. They give a little bit of a like, come on, this is where we're going, because we're pulling out and we're showing the TV and someone's watching it. Okay, in episode 2, the radio, like, please stick with us, and then all of a sudden, like 3, 4, we're invested, and now it's like, now you're getting where we were going. So I fucking I really, really like it. I like when she came out. She's no longer she's like what she would wear in Civil War, etc.
Yeah.
She also had the accent back. Just, I don't know, everything. It's like, it's her little perfect world.
Right.
And especially taken away from all the people she killed in Sokovia and all this little stuff like that. I don't think she's bad, obviously, because she's going to be in Doctor Strange, but I think somebody's making it really pretty for her she's a victim in this. That's it.
Yeah, I think the
Aren't
timeline
we all?
was, yeah, there it is. I think the timeline is established that WandaVision is supposed to be taking 3 weeks after Endgame. And I believe they were saying that either Spider-Man or Doctor Strange is supposed to be taking place either 8 or 10 months after Endgame. So that's why it's like they were able to tie together, you know, that episode where Monica came back, and you know, everyone was still, when in episode 5 where Vision ended up freeing Norm for a little bit. His first instinct was, you know, I gotta go check on my dad, I gotta go check on my sister and stuff like that. um so I'm kind of curious on if that is supposed to be the correct timeline. I mean, it seems like it, you know, especially the way that they're explaining everything.
But it happened when Vision touched him, though, right?
Yeah. That's how it worked. I'm curious because it looks like the next episode is supposed to be the Halloween episode where they're dressed up in their comic book get-ups. So that one actually looks kind of funny because of the way that they're wearing. So it looks pretty cool because you can tell that Paul Bettany is super uncomfortable wearing the Vision makeup and suit, and then wearing the other stuff up on top. So he looks super uncomfortable in that. But I mean, we've got 3 more episodes, and I think the next 3 episodes they're saying are supposed to be action packed. So, and like movie level action packed. So that should be pretty cool.
Dig it.
So yeah.
When we said that it was going to be 2 episodes, the next episode, is it?
No, it did. It actually didn't. It actually didn't happen. Disney only dropped 1 episode. They didn't drop the 2.
Okay.
So I guess
I thought
they
that's why
opted not to.
Okay.
No. They opted not to at the
Right.
very end, because I know in the last episode I ended up saying, and I know you're trying to point out that I was wrong. So thank you.
No, that's why I thought it was 41 minutes and not 22 minutes.
No.
That's all.
But I know you were trying to point out that I was wrong. So that's cool. I get it. It's fine.
Was not.
I know. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of Comics. I want to go ahead and reiterate, thank you very much for commenting, liking. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure you guys are hitting the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a comment. If you guys want to go ahead and DM us, go ahead and do that.
Don't DM Luis.
No, don't DM Luis.
I don't want to hear your shit.
He'll absolutely ignore you, like he usually does. We throw stuff out in our little chat, and Luis comments on things like 6 days later. So there's that. But again, thank you very much for tuning in. Keep commenting. So, I mean, what do we call our fans? Are they comic Conrads? No.
We'll work that out off camera.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to give them names.
Ash is all.
You shit on my ideas, I'll shit on yours.
I know, right?
I am fucking done.
I don't know shit. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Doodles.